Ever get that feeling like the world's financial markets are, I don't know, playing some kind of secret game of chess?
Yeah, definitely. It can feel that way. Lots of moving parts. Most people only see what's right in front of them.
Right. Well, get ready to be a little less clueless, my friend.
Oh, is that right? And what are we uncovering today?
Today, we're diving deep, like really deep, into this source. You must diversify, trading opportunities beyond gold. And trust me, it's way more interesting than the title makes it sound.
Beyond gold, huh? I'm intrigued. So what kind of hidden connections are we talking about here?
Well, the big takeaway is that stuff that seems totally random, like, say, the price of copper and how the Australian dollar decides to behave. Yeah, often there's a pattern there.
Okay, I'm seeing where you're going with this. So no more just looking at stocks and bonds, we're thinking bigger picture, more globally.
Exactly. And it all starts with understanding these weird correlations. Like, the source jumps right into this whole copper and Aussie dollar connection, which I'll admit I never really thought about before.
Right, well, it's not exactly common knowledge, is it?
Not really. So
Yeah.
walk us through it. What's the link?
Well, basically Australia, huge copper exporter, like massive. So when that copper price goes up on the global market, their economy gets a nice little boost, more demand, more money coming in. It's like a shot of espresso for the Aussie dollar.
It makes total sense. One goes up, the other follows. Domino effect.
Exactly. And speaking of dominoes, the source then connects the Australian dollar to, wait for it,
Don't tell me. The price of sheep.
not quite, the New Zealand dollar.
Oh, right, of course. But why those two?
Well, think about it. Geographically, they're practically neighbors. Their economies are often intertwined. Traders even call this a regional currency pair because they tend to, move in a similar fashion.
It's like they're joined at the hip, doing some kind of financial tango.
Yeah, something like that.
That's wild. Okay, so we've got copper and the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar doing its thing with the New Zealand dollar. All making a bit more sense now. But then, this source, it goes and throws a curveball. Gold and the Swiss franc.
Ah, yes. The classic safe havens.
Right. But why? It's not like Switzerland is sitting on a mountain of gold, or are they?
Not quite a mountain, but Switzerland does have a long history with gold reserves. For centuries, they've been seen as this safe haven during, global uncertainty, economic storms, all that.
So when the world gets a bit wobbly, people run to gold, A&D, the Swiss franc. Safety net time.
Exactly. And because they both have that safe haven status, they often move in the same direction.
Okay, so now I'm really starting to see the connections here. But this is where it gets even juicier. We've talked copper, we've talked gold, but then there's OLL.
Ah, yes. Black gold. Always adds a layer of complexity.
Right. And this source highlights how oil can have these totally opposite effects on different countries.
Exactly. It all comes down to whether a country is a net importer or exporter of oil.
Right. So give us an example. How does this play out in the real world?
Okay, take Canada, for example. They're a big oil exporter, right? When oil prices are up, their economy benefits and their dollar often gets stronger.
Makes sense. But then on the flip side, you have a country like Japan.
Who imports a ton of oil, yeah.
Exactly. So for them, high oil prices are actually a bad thing.
Right, it increases their costs, can put pressure on their currency, the yen.
See, this is what I love. It's like this whole hidden web of connections. One country's win is another one's, well, not so win. But, okay, big question. What does all this mean for, the average person? Like, why should I care about copper in the Aussie dollar tangoing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But it's actually pretty simple. This deep dive, it's all about getting us to think like traders, to look beyond just the obvious.
Because knowing these weird correlations, it can give you an edge.
Exactly. You can start anticipating those market shifts, and that's powerful stuff, whether you're, a seasoned investor or just starting out.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for the global market.
I like that. Because at the end of the day, the more you understand about these underlying connections, the less intimidating the financial world becomes.
Facts. And the more informed decisions you can make.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. Right.
100%. This deep dive, it's just a glimpse into a few of these fascinating relationships. Makes you wonder, what other hidden connections are out there just waiting to be, discovered?
Right. It really gets you thinking.
Because who knows, a little digging and you might uncover a whole new world of opportunities.
And maybe even gain that trading edge.